I have no reason to be banned. My Instagram is just cars. Like, it's just cars and a little bit of flexing. There's no politics. There's not even any points of view. I had no strikes, nothing. It's just a hit piece.
Now it's getting to a point where a lot of these governing rules are starting to put it in a way that it can even impact your money, such as your bank accounts, your Stripe accounts. I even think he said his Uber account got deleted. So,
yeah.
right, it's like a little bit extensive.
A little bit much. I'm gonna let you set this next one up about Andrew Tate, because I don't know much about this man.
Yeah, me neither, quite honestly. I was very intrigued today. I follow some of Patrick Bet-David's videos, and his platform or YouTube channel is called Valuetainment. So I was preparing for the show today and came across this 4-hour interview between him and Andrew Tate.
Right.
I was like, good God, this is like some Joe Rogan, Kanye, 3-part interview type thing.
Side note, real quick, I'm realizing that podcasts are going longer. Like, I follow Drink Champs, and now they're like averaging 3 hours.
3 hours.
It's weird.
I noticed that. Yeah, it's a bit much.
It's a lot.
But I just listened into about the first 45 minutes, and of course, kind of started looking up into the story. But from what I've been able to summarize from it is that this is someone who took a very strong stance on social media with most of his videos and his content, even from years ago.
Yep.
Took a very strong stance just around a man's role in society, not listening to the powers that be or whatever that case is. And eventually, a lot of his clips started being edited into short form content that went viral on TikTok. Mm-hmm. And so he was portrayed as someone who is a danger to society and was stripped of all of his social media platforms. Yeah. Now, I'll let you play the clip, and then I'll kind of tell you the 2 parts that I thought really are lessons for us as people building brands or businesses that we can take away from it.
Okay.
I have no reason to be banned. My Instagram is just cars. Like, it's just cars and a little bit of flexing. There's no politics. There's not even any points of view. I had no strikes, nothing. It's just a hit piece. So everybody already knows I was banned because I talked against the Matrix. They
just
know
the system in general.
The system in general, yeah. I mean.
Now it's interesting because he kind of contradicts himself a little bit, right? He says, I don't do anything. It's only the cars, but I talk about against the system. Now, however you want to spin that, at the end of the day, the big story here, or the reason why he's getting so much publicity, is that he was banned from all social media platforms: Discord, YouTube, Instagram. I'm talking about every single one, almost as if he was Donald Trump in a sense.
Right.
Completely wiped out without any notice, without any reason why. He was just completely taken down. Now, here's the part that I found very interesting. He said that this also impacted his bank accounts as well as some of his Stripe accounts. And so this is the part that I said, okay, forget all the gossip and is he a good person, bad person? I have no stance. I don't really know too much about him. But it is important for us to take into consideration as we are building brands and businesses online, to know that although we look at this as only social media, that now it's getting to a point where a lot of these governing rules are starting to put it in a way that it can even impact your money, such as your bank accounts, your Stripe accounts. I even think he said his Uber account got deleted. So,
yeah.
Right, it's like a little bit extensive.
A little bit much.
Yeah, so for me, I was just like, man, I would have never thought that something gone wrong and social would ever go to the extent of possibly impacting someone's bank information or their ability to, distribute and collect money or bank money, house money, however you want to say it. So that to me was a first time thing, like, whoa, people should be mindful about this. The second part of it, of course, is this construct of taking a stance. And I'm a big fan of this. One of the lessons that I always want to talk about is getting out of the middle, not being neutral gray. You should really take a stance on one side or the other, because trying to be politically correct about every single thing really makes you seem as though you can be bought or sold, right? You really don't have any values that you stand on. But you do want to be mindful of being so extreme that you just break the totem pole. And eventually that's what happened here, right? He just kind of got on the wrong side of a few people that said, whoa, we gonna get you out. So just some things that I thought like, man, and this is not somebody who I knew about maybe 3 months ago. So just to see something go to that extent and seeing him gain that much attraction was kind of crazy. But now I think what he's saying is that he's also going to other platforms. I forget what the name of the platform is, but it's
Rumble.
a competitor. Yeah, a competitor of YouTube, where he said what took him 5 years to build on YouTube, he's done almost more or just as much in 2 weeks on that platform.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we got options, y'all. It's like worst case scenario. I'm not saying go out here talking about cursing out the system, but
right. Well,
worst case scenario, there are options.
Yeah, I think to start off with that platform, I think that's the one where like Trump supporters go, because it's like free, like no censor to that one, right?
Got it.
So that's why he's living and chilling over there, because I don't know if that's the one that Trump went to, or if it was another one. But I know when I looked up Rumble, it was like Trump supporters, right? We could do the censorships and things like that. Now, for me, I'm not big on the censorship, because like the platforms, I will say this. If you guys watched the interview, there was certain points that made sense, right? That a platform can wipe out a whole other side of an argument. So it kind of narrates a certain story where we don't know, from a healthy debate side, we are not truly a society that gets to pick what's right or wrong. It's normally created through media, what's right or wrong, and because of what they push, what they put out, what they create. So from that standpoint, I was like, I kind of get what you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. But at another one, I'll always go back to, we do not pay for these platforms. So we actually have to kind of go by their rules and not sit and complain or be a rebel and do the complete opposite and then be like, I don't know why they banned me. What do you mean you don't? Dude, you're saying the most outrageous stuff. In the in the interview, they were comparing other people who were banned, and they brought up this tweet of somebody who was talking about the vid. I'm not trying to get banned or anything, so you know what that is. And it said some whatever, it just that person's opinion, and I guess it was the opposite of what society knows of the vaccine and things like that. So he got banned. And Tate's response was like, I don't understand why. It's logical reasoning. Like, why are we getting censored off of our opinions, right? And I get it, but we have to play smart in order to get what we want. And everything, I don't care if we like it or not, everything is politics. Everything is a game. If we're trying to get something, we have to play the game. Like it or not, whatever. There's an easy way of doing things. There's a hard way of doing things. There's a compromise. Like I'm not going to totally give in, but I'm not, both. I'm going to do both. Not saying to do the rebel way is impossible. But there's going to be a lot more obstacles that can be avoided if you understood just how to go around the game. And if we're talking about social media, I know not to speak about certain things. But what I can do is create exclusive content on a different platform and speak my piece on that, right? I don't have to say it in public. If we do that, we already know it's for clickbait. We already know it's for attention. Do that to those people who may want to know your inner thoughts and what you honestly think about politics, and what you honestly think about what's happening in the health industry, and do that. But and I was reading more into it, and because I was like, I've seen this dude multiple times and never understood what the big deal was, why he was banned, never cared to learn. Then as I'm digging more into it, I'm like, oh, you just say the most reckless stuff, and then you're like, why? Right? And granted, a lot of people have said reckless stuff and have not been banned. Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. He said a whole bunch of reckless stuff, right? But also, how do I want to put this? He probably, let's use the example of Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. A lot of people took certain clips and created it to make it look a certain kind of way. Now, granted, the man still said something, but there was probably a whole backstory if you watch the full video. I'm not saying I've ever seen any of this man's full video, but I do give people the benefit of the doubt that what we may see in a quick clip may not be the full story until we watch the full one, right? So understanding that if we see that one or two times, let's act right. If we don't want our pockets checked, if we don't want our awareness checked, if we are trying to truly grow a global brand that has impact, let's play it properly. If we're not going to play it properly and you want to look like the rebel and I'm going to be the new leader of this whole thing, absolutely, go ahead. For me, I'm not going to take that route. For one, I don't truly like talking about controversial stuff. I stay out of it. If it has nothing to do with me and mines, I stay out of it. I'm not trying to be the revolutionary leader of anything. That's just me. Shout out to the people who do.
Right.
I'm not. So I'm going to, and there's certain topics, even me and you have let's stay away from that. Boom, boom, boom. Just because, one, I think not everybody needs to speak on everything.
That's it right there. Yeah.
It's a fact. Not everybody needs to speak on everything. Just because we now have the tools to do so doesn't mean we have to, right? Now, if we feel very strong about something, absolutely. Speak your mind, right? But please don't tell me you feel strong about everything. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. You're waiting for the platforms to shut you down. You're playing with it, but let's look at it from a business side, right? Now that he's banned, everybody's searching who is he, where can I find his material, what exactly and he could leverage that as the season is still happening, right? So it's a win-win situation. You can make back what you lost if you want to play that route, right? I don't know if that was intentional, but if it was intentional of getting banned everywhere, this, that, and third, just so I can create people to come to this platform or to create on my own platform, put a certain paywall to it. Now I have a strong community that just wants to know what I'm saying, or the blogs that just subscribe for that certain second, just so they can rip it and put it on their own blogs. However it is, I'm actually winning because now people are speaking about me, and I'm going to take advantage of that. I promise you, leverage is so important to master. And if you don't know how to do that, you're going to get caught up in a lot of L's and a lot of lost opportunities.
Yeah, nothing else to follow. I think you said it though. Not everyone should speak on everything. You know, and thinking back to the episode, last week where you said, that's like, how do you stay away from jumping on different trends? It's that right there. You know, it's when you start to feel the pressure that you got to create at any means necessary or at any cost, and you start speaking on stuff that you shouldn't be speaking on, then you find yourself in a sticky situation. Like, how did I even end up here?
That's fine.
And it's like, stay focused.
Stay in your lane.